You're not going to go into a building with all the teachers armed.
So you'd like the teachers to carry weapons.
So we're all used to Republicans saying ridiculous things like this, but what he's about to say is going to be even more revealing as to how ridiculous right-wingers actually are.
Yeah, everybody should be allowed to carry a weapon, except maybe on an airplane.
Right.
Okay, as a really quick aside, does this person really think that a school is somehow less dangerous than an airplane for somebody to be having a gun? Like, I get that an airplane crashing in and of itself is a pretty big disaster, but I think we should also recognize that gun violence at schools in and of itself is also a pretty massive disaster that we should all be concerned about. Really says something about his priorities.
So teachers should have a weapon on them in the classroom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that would be intimidating for the students to have their teacher with a gun?
Oh, I want him there.
And so teachers with guns, possible solution.
Yeah, I know it is. And they need to put to death all these people who are on death row.
You want to put them to death?
Put them to death quickly.
You want to kill all those people?
Yeah, the killing. Yeah, that it is. They ought to have public execution where everybody sees it.
Now, as he's saying this, we need to consider something that's really important. Putting people who have committed mass shootings on death row is something that both A, already happens, and B, is something that is only done after the fact. It actually doesn't do anything to prevent mass shootings from happening.
You believe in public execution?
Old days.
Old days.
I'm all for public execution.
And what are your thoughts on abortion?
I'm against it, boys. It's murder. That's why I got this shirt right here.
Wait. You said you're against abortion.
Yeah, it's murder.
You want to bring back public executions.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I got the info there. Okay.
And now this last bit is obviously ridiculous because, of course, this person claims to be pro-life and is very, very much about preserving life, except for, of course, when it comes to protecting school children from violence, and, of course, when it comes to the death penalty for people who've been convicted of crimes, and specifically he wants, like, the public death penalty, right? He wants death sentences to be carried out in public, which is deeply, deeply evil and speaks to something about the political right that we need to understand at a very core level. Because at the end of the day, right-wingers above all else worship violence. They think that the strongest political ideology, metaphorically speaking, is also the one that is literally just exerting the most physical strength against its opponent. That's why so many right-wingers in the United States are so willing to embrace fascism, because in their mind, quite literally exterminating people that are more marginalized than them is, in their mind, strength. Because, once again, they worship violence. These are people who, at the core of their political identity, hold violence above all other things, and consider violence to be inherently legitimate when it is coming from the powerful, and it is something that marginalized people are subjected to. This is why right-wingers are so willing to embrace people like Donald Trump, because they don't actually care about logical consistency. They just care about perceived strength. The irony, obviously, being that all of these people are fundamentally driven by cowardice. I mean, that really is what drives the right. They're, by and large, pathetic cowards who just lean into these individual strongmen who promise to keep them safe, when in actuality, all they really do is destroy economies and destroy lives in the process. But of course, because they will allow them to have their guns, they will feel strong, when in actuality, what they're really feeling in their heart of hearts is just fear and cowardice. And that is the exact reason why these are the people who are so willing to support the military-industrial complex and the policing system, which really only exists to just subject marginalized people to extreme violence without addressing any of the actual problems that they're theoretically meant to solve. All while, of course, making giant corporations a huge profit in the process.